Welcome to Factorio Brave New World. My name is Nilaus and this is the weekly recap of the second week of streaming this series over on Twitch. If you are not familiar with this series, then yes, I'm streaming this on Twitch. It's streamed live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Sometimes an extra day here and there, because why not? So if you are not familiar with that platform, do head on over. There's a link in the description. It's twitch.tv/Nilaus, and yeah, I'm also streaming other games. So just feel free to jump by and say hi. I really appreciate it when new people come in. Now let's jump into this. This is a recap of what has been progressing over the last 4 streams. This is where we left off, or we started the week. Just to set the stage on where we are. This is the base, obviously. And where we are, we just managed to get a automation of more robots. So we have as many robots as we need, pretty much at this point. And that means construction is going to be a lot easier. And that's so from there on, we can start scaling up and working on the next tech. The next 2 big milestones will be looking at this. It's really running out of iron everywhere. We got a bit of iron here and a bit of iron here, but this is the juicy price that we have to get to. So we're starting the expansion, going on down here and capturing the new ground. Let's move forward and take a look at what the game state is after the first 4-hour stream of the week. Now here we are at the end of the first stream, that's the first stream of the week. That's the 5th stream in total. So about 20 hours into the game here. We'll just remove this one so it doesn't keep popping, but you can see that we have now researched artillery. The biggest change is down here, and I'm just going to go out of the map view. I'm going to try refraining from using the map view here. We have now got this. Oh no, this is unpowered. We got a nice strong defense all the way around. We got it's stationed, so we built the first train. It's way overdone for what we need here, but the good thing is this one's coming in. We're building a train line going all the way up and around and into here. So what we're now getting at this point is 6 lanes, potentially if it's all performing at full speed, it's 6 lanes. It can consume 6 lanes of red belts. They are still yellow at this point, so never mind that. They're going here, but it has certainly solved our iron needs. Now, obviously, as soon as we solve the iron needs, the next focus is going to be on copper. This copper, and together with this newly spawned copper, is not going to be enough to get us there. Ooh, that's starting to be some attacks coming in. They're still not really going to make a dent in our defenses, but they're certainly coming in. You can see here we also got our, we got tech-wise, yellow science is the big achievement here. Yellow science, which has enabled us to get artillery. And we're working on actual artillery. Let's just look at this attack just to see how the defenses are holding up. We got 1 shot in, 2 shots in, that's it. They're quite harmless. And here we are now starting to work on the artillery construction. So we can make artilleries in the corners. Really nice. Also, we can see here the solar panels are just starting to expand. And we're trying to maintain a pattern here for roboports down these lines with some path here. Let's see how that pans out. And as a system, we can also see that this is our stone. It's pretty much all run out. So we need to tap this stone deposit and then just bring it back up. Let's jump forward in time 1 more stream to the end of stream 6 to see what has been transpired in that stream. And here we are after the 6th stream. There's a couple more expansions. We have expanded a bit more up here. You can see so that we got the copper ore deposit, which is coming in nicely, coming in here, all going in. This mine is not able to deliver 4 lanes of red belts. That's pretty obvious. It's not, but it not when it's fully performing or fully used. So, but things are just they're working. Things are working. That's good, and we're progressing. We also moved the science out here. Actually, I think we did that before. Proceeding down here, we got after where we were at the end of the previous stream was just building the yellow science and the explosives. Now we got the artillery shells. We got another red circuit, but it's just lacking plastic. That's the big issue at this point. Lack of plastic. Got the purple science. Got the ingredients for the purple science. The reason why this is, I have to get this in order for us to get coal liquefaction, and that explains this part. So we are actually running out of coal at this point here. These two are so small, so we do need this one. But looking at a nice juicy 14 million chunk here when we have absolutely not enough oil coming into the base, it's a pretty obvious that this is a juicy perspective to get something here. Yeah, so we want to tap this and make it go into some coal liquefaction. That's why we had to get the purple science, even though the purple science isn't going to run very fast because of lack of plastic. So it's kind of like we need plastic, or we need coal to make plastic, to make red circuits, to make productivity science, but we need the productivity science to make the coal become plastic through coal liquefaction. So you got to get this going even slowly, just to work go forward. Another little issue here is, or a little feature, we've now tapped the uranium deposit is going in here and being processed. We do not at this moment, nope, have Coverex, but we just start accruing things here. The thing that should be paying attention to, you can see there's still a couple of blinkies. Each of these ones take 100 red circuits. So as we are running out of red circuits, that's a lot of red circuits being tied up here. It's more exactly 2,400 red circuits just being invested there. I think it's still worth it. It has to just keep going, just cranking away, getting as many of these as possible so that we can potentially get some nuclear power. Again, also expanded our power here with more solar panels. And the next thing we want to do is now tap this part. We already started, you can see that here, already started doing some design work on the liquefaction plant. And that needs to go down here. Okay, so that's where we are. Biter wise, yeah, we still have a number of biters within our pollution cloud. That's just the way it is. We have to deal with that. However, if you look at this part and look at this area, we can now start pushing away some of the biter nests because they're here. Like, it works, right? It works. Yes, dodum. Yes, good old artillery. So that's going to be fine. We are getting some, so we can start clearing this out. This is really important as well. Let's move forward in time after the 7th stream and then just see how we expand from here. At this point, we actually have like copper and iron under control. When we get copper, or when we get the coal, that means also that like oil is also under control, at least for the time being. So I'm going to just jump forward to the next stream. And here we are after the 7th stream. So that's about 28 hours. I really shouldn't do this kind of math on live shows. And again, a big expansion out here. The big things that have been done during this stream is not actually continuing on the tech at all, or sort of the science at all. Still having just a slow burn on yellow and purple science. But at this point, let's go look at this expansion area. We've got solar panels, but we also now have nuclear power plants. We spent a bit of time on making some designs for these nuclear power plants. These are perfect ratio, kind of perfect ratio-ish for four nuclear power plants, nuclear reactors, and that gives us 480 megawatts. So with 2 of those, we got 960 megawatts. So giving 1 gigawatt of power additionally has really just solved our power. You can see here, this is before they were switching on, I think, and there we go. We are now exclusively doing solar power and steam engines, steam turbines. That is excellent. Now if we look over here, we also have the Coverex. It's just a small Coverex build. The way this is done is we're taking stuff out here to make sure we have 20 available fuel, and anything beyond that is just keeps going. This one will not take more than, this one will not go, so that has to be 10 in here. So basically at this point, I'm just saying the most important thing is keeping this one full. And in order to keep that full, I want to make sure this one stays at 20. This one always has something in it. And then the residual or the remaining can just flow around. And then of course you can, at some point when you feel like it, just expand it up here and get more. But at this point, it's working, it's doing something, it is delivering the uranium fuel cells that we need to maintain the base. Also, at this point, we have given up on the concept of maintaining the ammunition belt, we're just getting so few attacks in that I don't really feel it justifies having this. Also, this belt really works well if you have it all the way around, but since we're now starting to use the environment, such as this lake here, as a barrier, then I would have to sort of sneak it around here and sneak it here, and yeah. So we do kind of have an exposed position here, but that's okay. Now down here we have the other big thing that was built in this episode. Yeah, I'm just going to go out of the map view because the map view is being tested at this point for just doing some testing so we can see something during the night. Very dark, but usually that gets compensated by wearing equipment such as the night vision goggles. But I can't wear that because I don't have a character in this playthrough, so everything will be very gloomy. Now, we have hooked up this 14 million coal, 14 million coal. It goes into one line, goes in here, and makes coal liquefaction that gets all of it converted into petroleum. All this petroleum gets converted into plastic, and suddenly we have more plastic than we can shake a stick at. Someone forgot to hook up this line. I can see at this point here we have the second one. It's exactly the same, just making petroleum, and this is exclusively going into building more sulfur. Sulfur is needed for batteries. We need a lot of batteries because we're needing a lot of accumulators for our solar arrays. We need it for blue circuits, and we need it for uranium mining. So there's actually quite a demand for this, and therefore I just felt like let's make a dedicated location here. This is just a full red belt coming in, and this is now getting fed into the 1, 2 red circuit builds we have. You can see this one is just completely idle. Well, I've actually switched it off. So, yep, things are working. The slowest science going is the production science. It's not a big surprise that it's actually the slowest, and this is kind of... This is what always happens. When you get to production science, you start running out of steel. And this is exactly what happens here. This takes a lot of steel. The electric furnaces and rails take a lot of steel, like a lot of steel. And that means the production science is very heavy on the steel and red circuits. And also stone for some matter. That's kind of the last bit here. But it's going, and it's consuming all of our precious, precious steel. So this episode, we have not... this stream, there was not a lot of work done on progressing the science, but that's going to be the next part. So let's now that power is sorted, plastic is sorted, sulfur is sorted, we got iron sorted, we got copper sorted, we got uranium. So we got a lot of things that are just now resting in itself and becoming sort of more reliable. That means it's time for us to start expanding the base and also expanding the tech. Now, one thing I want to mention at this point is that at this point, a lot of the tech, a lot of these expansions here are actually getting kind of frustrating because these grids here, they don't fit very well. So like this one, for example, suddenly the ideal location for this one would be right there. And then I'd have to make this either the substation grid or this Roboport grid would have to sort of be irregular. On top of that, we also sort of the distance here, because everything is based on these chunks, and that I have to buy these chunks. They're 32 by 32. The substations are 18 by 18, and the roboports are 50 by 50. So none of those numbers sort of, divide easily. Anyway, let's jump forward to the next stream to see how we solve that issue as well. So this is the situation at the end of the second week of streaming after 8 streams of 4 hours, 32 hours in total. This is the base. We've expanded quite a bit. I really want the base to be as square as possible because that is the least surface area and the more sort of space inside. Well, I can't make it round, can I? So here we are. We've claimed this area down here, and this is actually where I got endlessly frustrated about this. So I tried to make sort of a pattern, and then it didn't fit here, and it didn't fit there, and that one fit, and then it bumped into the rail lines, and the power poles didn't fit at all, and it's just a lot of just annoying things because this is not how I like building stuff. I don't like this kind of spaghetti mess, like this part, for example. I don't like it. So we took a deep breath, and we buckled down and we did some collaborative designs on the stream, and we came up with this grid, which is awesome. I'm so happy about it. It has some compromises, but hey, life is about compromise, isn't it? I'm going to take this because that's the repeatable pattern. First thing, I am going to enable a feature. This is, I hit F4 to open the debug menu, and then I show the tile grid, because this is important. These are the chunks you can see out here. I buy each chunk like so. Boop. I buy it. And I needed to have something that was chunk aligned. Let's see, is it anywhere that I can, if I do this one, I'm just looking at somewhere that does, that I have. All right, I'm going to do it here. All right, so if we look at this, we decided to go with a pattern that has 3 by 3 chunks, because one chunk is 32 tiles, so 3 chunks is 96 tiles. 2 roboports is 100 tiles. So what I did was just take the 2 roboports and just moved it 1 tile closer to the middle each. That means that there's now a 1 tile overlap to around this one. The great thing about it is that it actually tiles. So once we put the roboports there, I was certain that was correct, because that tiles. This is exactly what you see at this location. This location here, it goes exactly one tile around the chunks that we have bought out. Perfect alignment. And then it's about figuring out what kind of power we want inside. I was about to give up, but then there was a sort of a casual idea of saying, hey, what about just using 3 substations? We tried 3 substations at sort of max interval. If you look at the substations, they are overlapping. If we put them like at max interval like this, instead of this part, then it's not actually very good. If I now do this part, I'd like to have to be like this. Yeah. So that would be sort of these at maximum distance. Okay, well, if they're at maximum distance, then we'd have a repeatable pattern, but it would just kind of look weird. Let's have this going in here. It will just show it. Oh, okay, that one actually also has to go out. Now, one of the issues we have is the pure travel distance here. Yep. So at this point, we know that the roboports are looking good, but we're not so sure about the. This is the sort of the alternative way that they're like started by doing this. This says maximum grid length for the substations. Got that now. Now, if I then stamp it down next to it, then you can see that the 2 substations here and here will have a 4 tile overlap, and that just doesn't look good. And therefore it was actually just, let's have a consistent overlap here, which also means that it's now completely aligned towards the hubs. It will overlap, yes, but we do now have something that we can stamp down. I designed some solar panels here. This solar panel array also tiles really well. Just if I do this with an overlap and an overlap here, boom. And if we look at how well it tiles again, this is now 1K. Oh, you know, I don't need those tiles anymore. The grid lines, there's just for illustrative purposes. Yeah. There we go. Look at the map view. It's very clear to see even in the middle of the night. Okay, this has been reestablished. So we now have a grid. This grid is not going to be, it's not like a sacred grid that we cannot violate for anything, because we will have a lot of designs that just take more space than we have available here. But this is going to be, this is the grid that we stamp down everywhere. And then when needed, we will be removing some parts in order to build the good designs, whether that's a train station that needs more space for loading. That could be like smelting arrays. They're going to take more space than it's here, so we're going to need several smelting arrays along the way here. Let's look at this one just to show how good the ratio is. It's 1000. It's 1000 and something, but it's 1000 versus 836. If we look at ideal ratios, then it would be for 1000, it would be 840 accumulators. So we are pretty close to ideal ratio here. And of course, depending on sort of the where you take your, how you take it, the ratio will be more or less off. So I'm really happy with it. This is perfectly viable, and what we've done now is now all of this has been converted to the new grid. That means everything we build from now on will be converted to this. When we do something else at some point, yeah, we're going to replace maybe like here. I'm going to find a way to get this around and over for sure, because that will allow us to sort of encapsulate the base in our new grid. And that means we can stamp down solar panels wherever we feel like. Right now we can't really, well, look, actually we could actually do this. It would actually be super simple to do that, because I could just build like this. I would know this would be correct. So it's actually not that big of a deal. We can just, because it is modular, we can just start building it there as well. Huh, didn't even think of that. Cool. Now, that means we are now at a position where we, oh, right, we also did more in this stream. Not just designs, but also did this one, making solid fuel. Solid fuel is going over here, making rocket fuel together with another red circuit build. Some rocket control units, and we have up here the already low density structures. That goes in here. We are somehow missing the rocket fuel. No, the rocket control units. Yeah, that's because of lack of blue. Okay, well, nothing new here. Nothing new about lacking blue circuits. We'll fix that sometime, because we just wanted this one to launch. We launched 3 rockets. We say product finished. 3 rockets launched. So we do have a bit. We've gotten like the first science. I can't remember. That's probably like robot speed. We got 1. Yeah, 1.5. So we got robot speed 6. Yeah, maybe some mining speed. Now some artillery range. It's all good. Now, so right now what we have is a base that does something. It outputs rockets, science. It builds the stuff we need, with the exception of tier 3 modules. And that means we can now start slowly transitioning into the mega base domain, where we are going to take this and start making the big smelter module, because we do want to try some centralized smelting and some kind of new concept for a train system to go around. So that's going to be very exciting to get started on this. So this is basically, if you compare to a WoW campaign, we've now reached the max level. We are awfully geared, but we have reached the max level, and we can start preparing for raiding. That's where we start working on our kilo base, working towards our kilo base, not a mega base, just a kilo base. Yeah, so I think that's catching you up. If you, for some reason, have been living under a rock without internet for the last week, or for some unknown reason missed my Twitch streams, then you're all caught up, and now you can come on over to the stream over on Twitch. The address is twitch.tv/Nilaus. You can find the link in the description below. And you can come on over, say hi. I'm streaming this Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. And I'm also streaming other evenings and also some mornings. So do head on over if you just want to say hi. I really appreciate when anyone new comes in and says hi. And it just gives us a great opportunity to talk in real time. So that should be catching you up, and I hope that you're enjoying this. Please let me know what you think about this format. This is a bit more of a lengthy summary format, but it's supposed to, if I'm catching up on recapping 12 to 16 hours of stream, I cannot really do that in 5 to 10 minutes. So I think it needs a bit more meat to it. So thank you for watching. If you feel that I've just earned your subscription, then hit that subscribe button. And also, if you like the video, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take care and stay effective.